story to tell.
Yeah,
On top
absolutely.
of it. I've got a surprise for you today.
Okay.
Do you remember when you talked about someone asked about the mark of the beast and whether or not someone could receive the mark of the beast and then become a believer? You remember that?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember the controversy that stirred up?
Yes,
It was quite a bit, wasn't it?
it was.
I got a lot of emails, people saying, I can't believe he would say such a thing. You remember all that?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. Well, I was walking April the other night listening to a Q&A from a few years ago where John MacArthur on a Wednesday night would have the folks in his congregation stand up and go to the microphones and shoot questions at him. Would you like to hear the question he was asked and his answer?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Is in regard to the latter half of the tribulation period when men will be required to have the mark of the beast in order to buy or sell. My question is, once a person takes the mark, is there any possibility of him coming to Christ?
Yes. I think, in the 7-year tribulation coming in the future, we're going to get into this probably a week from Sunday night, maybe this Sunday night, maybe a week, I'm not sure. But the tribulation is a 7-year period, right? The rapture of the church, 7-year tribulation, then Christ returns, sets up his kingdom. Now, in that 7-year period, really two things happen. God begins to judge the world with a series of holocausts, and at the same time, he begins to redeem his people Israel. And in the process of this, the Antichrist establishes his rule, and in order to function in the economy of the Antichrist, you have to take the mark of the beast. The mark being the number of a man, Revelation 13, 666. 6 is the number of man, right? 7 is the number of perfection, and man always falls short of perfection. 6. Always 6 is never 7. So the number of a man. And apparently what's going to happen, you take the mark on your hand or on your forehead. And we've talked a lot about that, that's kind of the computer situation. We're now moving fast toward the time when we're going to have to do everything we do by cards and by numbers and all of that. And those numbers, the thing about a card that's a problem is you lose it, and they've already devised systems to put the number on your hand and on your forehead, and you go through a scanner, and then, that's how you buy and sell. It's automatically deducted from your bank account. Now, the question is, if you're living in the tribulation period and you take this mark, in other words, you identify with the beast's empire, will you still be able to be redeemed? And I think the answer to that is yes. Yes. Otherwise, there would be no salvation of anybody in the end of the tribulation. Yeah. And you've got to have the salvation of folks in the end of the tribulation. You're going to have the Jews redeemed. You're going to have, according to Revelation chapter 7, an innumerable number of Gentiles redeemed, so many they can't even be counted across the face of the earth. So I don't think the fact that someone takes that is a sentence to permanency, any more than you being a part of this world system once in your life means you have to be a part of the system all your life. Well, especially when the 144,000 don't start their ministry till the second half.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That make it a little tough.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Dr. DeYoung.
Well, we're looking at the same book. That's what's so interesting, and that's what we were saying. I mean, that's not the unpardonable sin. You've got to be. I've never thought that what he said there was very interesting. The fact is, if nobody gets saved in the last 3.5 years because they have received that mark, where's that unbelievable number of Jews that come to know Christ, that are living, that actually go into the millennial kingdom in natural bodies? That's good that Brother John is looking at the same book that I am, and we came up with the same answers.
Well, it is, and that was very interesting because you remember that was really, really controversial. I'm not so sure you've ever made a statement on our program before that was as controversial as that one, and I got so many emails on it, and then I was walking the dog the other night listening to this Q&A, and I thought, I've got to play this on the air. This will be a great surprise for Dr. DeYoung. So there you go.
It is a pleasant surprise, and the dear brothers and sisters who disagreed, I don't quite know where they were coming from. I don't need to know that. But just now, with that confirmation from another Bible teacher, and he's a great Bible teacher. I'm just a beginner, but
no, I wouldn't say that. But go on.
It's great to see that, and the confirmation of both of us believing that same thing. I wonder how many more emails you're going to get now.
Oh well.
You got two guys on your side that are pretty good, right?
I think so too.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, we both love you and love what you're doing, and have the opportunity to interact on your program.
Well, the feeling's mutual. Thank you. Oh well.